People in different parts of the country today woke up to early morning jolts triggered by an earthquake measuring 6 on Richter scale, with its epicenter at Sindhupalchok's Ramche. In a country presently reeling under an unprecedented health crisis, the strong tremors this morning was a timely reminder of the 2015 April earthquake and what the authorities could still do as a precaution against a tragedy of a massive scale. Good morning, I'm Amar Singh Pradhan and these are the headlines of the hour. 50 cases this morning and record single-day spike of 1,459 yesterday takes the national tally past 56,800. COVID-19 death climbs to 371. Government decides to resume domestic flights and long route transport services from tomorrow onwards to address the plight of the public and businesses. US President Donald Trump hails the dawn of a new Middle East amid UN-brokered Israel's landmark deals with the United Arab Emirates and Bahrain. And Bournemouth defeat Crystal Palace 11-10 in a grueling Carabao Cup shootout after a goalless draw to set up a third-round tie against Manchester City. An earthquake measuring 6 on the Richter scale rocked Sindhupalchok's Ramche early this morning. The National Earthquake Monitoring and Research Center confirmed that the epicenter of the 6 Richter scale earthquake was Ramche, which is located at a distance of 55 kilometers from Kathmandu. The early morning tremors at 5:19 a.m. were also felt in Kathmandu along with several other adjoining districts. People in Kathmandu Valley came out of their residences after the massive jolt. Meanwhile, the tremors were also felt as far as Jhapa in the east and Syangza in the western part of Nepal. The District Administration Office Sindhupalchok has said that no damages have been reported due to the earthquake as of the latest updates. 50 new cases of COVID-19 have been reported this morning from Gandaki province. 29 cases were reported from Pokhara, 13 from Gorkha, 5 from Tanu and 3 cases were reported from Baglung district. Meanwhile, Nepal reported the highest single-day spike of 1,459 cases yesterday. With this, the total number of coronavirus cases have reached 56,838. The death tally has climbed to 371 as 11 deaths were confirmed yesterday. The deceased include a 64-year-old man from Sarlai, 35-year-old woman from Siraha and another 55-year-old woman from Bara in Province 2. Likewise, 4 deaths were reported from Kathmandu. An 83-year-old female and male of 34, 66 and 96 years of age succumbed to the virus yesterday in Kathmandu district. Another 61-year-old man from Makwanpur, 64-year-old woman from Rupandei and 58-year-old man from Kapilvastu died due to coronavirus as of latest update. The federal capital reported 676 new cases, out of which 555 were reported from Kathmandu district alone, 86 from Bhaktapur and 35 from Lalitpur. Likewise, 162 new cases were reported in Siraha, 111 in Morang, 87 in Makwanpur and 51 in Rupandei. Meanwhile, 1,062 individuals were discharged from various hospitals and isolation centers across the country after registering full recovery yesterday. With this, the total number of recovery cases in the country has reached 40,638, taking the recovery rate to 71.5%. The Health Ministry has informed that 174 patients are receiving treatment in intensive cares while 28 are kept in various ventilators. Patients who had to wait for hours at hospitals earlier have reported of faster services these days as there are fewer patients amid fear of coronavirus spread. However, experts have warned many patients who need treatment might be avoiding hospitals due to the fear of contracting the COVID-19 virus, resulting in further complications in their health. We have more in this report.
Prior to the coronavirus pandemic, the outpatient ward of Bhaktapur Cancer Hospital saw around 250 patients on any given day. On average, 11 of them used to be new cancer patients. However, the number of patients visiting the hospitals has gone down to less than 100 a day amid the fear of coronavirus, and the number of cancer cases have gone down to 6. While the number might look encouraging, doctors have said many patients who require tests and treatment are refraining from hospitals, and that a majority of those who reach the cancer hospital these days are limited to patients with third or fourth stage of cancer. Many other hospitals have reported a similar decline in number of patients since the coronavirus crisis began. Patna Hospital, that saw 1,500 patients a day, these days has less than 300 patients. Likewise, patients at Trauma Center have reported of faster services in recent time as the number of patients have gone down to around 100 from 300 per day. Doctors have warned of a looming health crisis caused by health problems other than coronavirus infection. In many cases, health workers have themselves discouraged patients from visiting hospitals due to the risk of coronavirus spread. There have also been instances where health workers have denied services to patients out of fear of virus contraction. Given the severity of the ongoing pandemic, there is no alternative to taking maximum precautions at all times. However, experts have warned of an impending health crisis brought about by patients refraining from hospital visits even when in need.
The government has decided to resume long route transport services and domestic flights from tomorrow. The newly appointed government spokesperson Pradeep Gewali informed that the decision to resume the services after almost 6 months was taken considering the plight of both transport and airline businesses and the public as well. The government at the same time has also set a few guidelines for these sectors to resume services. Airline companies will be allowed to only occupy 50% of its airplane capacity. The Tourism Ministry has been assigned to fix the airfares. Likewise, the ministry has also been handed over to make the decision regarding regular international and chartered flights. The rule of 50% capacity has also been imposed on public vehicles, but the government has allowed public vehicle operators to charge additional 50% from passengers. The government has also decided to allow hotels, restaurants and trekking businesses to operate their services from tomorrow, while mountaineering and trekking activities for foreigners can resume from 17th of October. However, the government has maintained the suspension on operating educational institutions, cinema halls, party palaces and recreational activities. Meanwhile, the government has appointed former Finance Minister Yuvraj Khatiwada as a special economic advisor to the Prime Minister. Khatiwada's facilities will be on par with that of a minister. Likewise, the government has appointed Leknath Koirala as the acting managing director of the Nepal Electricity Authority based on the seniority after Kulman Gising's 4-year term ended. And time now for a short break. For more news, do stay with us. Top leaders within the ruling Nepal Communist Party have begun legworks for a possible cabinet reshuffle now that the intra-party dispute has been settled for the time being. The ruling party's chairman duo and leaders have begun lobbying for a place in the cabinet as the distribution of the portfolio is certain to make an impact on the party's upcoming general convention and next general elections. We have more in this report.
Both the chairmen of the ruling Nepal Communist Party are focused on strengthening their positions within the party and the government. Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli, who was in minority in the Secretariat Committee and had faced mounting pressure in the Standing Committee, wants to maintain his power within the party and the government at all costs, while Executive Chairman Dahal is planning to strengthen his own hold of the party. Analysts say the two chairmen's power pursuit is likely to impact the cabinet reshuffle. Sources say Premier Oli is unwilling to reshuffle the cabinet, which might weaken his dynamics in the Secretariat Committee. Currently, the Premier has the support of Deputy Prime Minister Ishwar Pokhrel, General Secretary Bishnu Paudel and Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa. However, according to sources, Prime Minister Oli is suspicious over Vice Chairman Bamdev Gautam's stance. This, analysts say, has caused the Premier to be hesitant in appointing Gautam to any important portfolios. Meanwhile, senior leader Madhav Kumar Nepal has demanded for a cabinet reshuffling, citing that the current portfolio of ministers had failed to deliver. The constitution has provisioned for up to 25 ministries. According to sources, the ruling party is also planning to split the current 22 ministries if a consensus is not reached regarding power division. Currently, the Ministry of Finance, Communication and Cooperatives Department are vacant and many leaders are vying to head Ministry of Finance and Communication.
And in our public voice segment, we had asked the local residents in Salyan what type of programs should the local levels introduce for unemployed youths. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
Public voice.
प्रधानमन्त्री रोजगार कार्यक्रम, मुख्यमन्त्री रोजगार कार्यक्रम यसलाई चाहिँ एकदम प्रभावकारी रूपमा 12 महिना एकदम छोटो समय भन्दा लामो समयसम्म चल्ने गरी युवाहरूलाई चाहिँ यसमा सहभागी बनाउनको लागि 12 महिना जस्ता कार्यक्रम ल्याउन जरुरी छ।
युवाहरूको लागि रोजगार दिने र कृषि क्षेत्रमा लगानीहरू लगाइदिने,
कृषिमा अनुदानहरू दिनु पर्यो हैन, बिना धितो ऋणहरू उपलब्ध गराउनु पर्यो,
बाटोघाटो, खानेपानी, विद्युत यस्तै कार्यक्रमहरुमा लगाउनु पर्यो।
युवाहरूको क्षमताको आधारमा चाहिँ काम गर्नुपर्छ र कृषिमा विशेष जोड दिनुपर्छ।
And now time for our segment Public Pulse, where it texts us with their opinion.
Public pulse.
And the question is, why has the government failed to effectively implement employment programs? And the options are: option A, weak government mechanism; option B, impact of pandemic; and option C, hasty announcement. The voting is on. Type in NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. And those were our latest headlines. Stay with us for more news and entertainment on KTVSD. Stay safe and good day.